Imagine yourself back then. Saturday morning around 9:30. You're sitting cross-legged on the carpet, a bowl of cereal balanced on your knees, watching one of just 3 TV channels. Outside, the street is quiet, waiting for you. No phones, no apps, just you and your mates until tea time. The 1970s weren't flawless, but if you grew up then, you know these aren't just memories. They were childhood itself, from blazing summers to power cuts and candlelight, from Saturday morning TV to penny sweets. This was the Britain so many of us remember fondly. Today, we're looking at 17 things every 70s child will remember. The summer of 1976 wasn't just hot, it was relentless. For 3 months, Britain felt more like the Mediterranean. Temperatures climbed past 32 degrees C for 15 days in a row. Grass turned pale and lifeless. Pavements shimmered with heat. Tarmac softened and warped. Reservoirs dried up completely. By July, standpipes appeared in the streets, one for every 20 houses. Families queued with buckets for drinking and washing water. In parts of Wales, taps were shut off for 17 hours a day. Dennis Howell was appointed Minister for Drought. Emergency laws were rushed through Parliament, and a cheeky slogan spread everywhere: "Save water, bath with a friend." Then came the ladybirds. By late July, an estimated 23 billion of them covered everything. Windows, pavements, windscreens. You couldn't avoid stepping on them. Greenfly filled the air, followed by swarms of ladybirds so thick you could barely see through them. For children, though, it was bliss. Endless days outdoors, paddling pools, ice lollies melting faster than you could eat them. When rain finally arrived in September, it caused floods, but the memory remained. That was the summer Britain nearly ran out of water. January 1974. The lights flicker once, twice, then go out. From the 1st of January, electricity to businesses was rationed. Companies worked only 3 days a week. Television shut down at 10 p.m. Families lived by candlelight. The miners were on strike. Coal supplies ran low. No coal meant no power. Prime Minister Edward Heath's government tried to stand firm. Instead, the country ground to a halt. For children, the darkness felt like an adventure. Candles appeared. Shadows danced on the walls. Houses smelled of melted wax and coal smoke. Shops ran out of candles. Some butchers even made them from string and animal fat. They smelled awful, but people were desperate. Board games came out. Monopoly by candlelight. Families talked because there was nothing else to do. Heating was limited to one room. Everyone huddled together under blankets, breath visible even indoors. It lasted until March, when Harold Wilson's Labour government won the election, gave miners a big pay rise, and the lights came back. But the memory of the 3-day week never left. Every week, you'd hear it before you saw it, the clinking of glass bottles, the low rumble of a diesel engine. The pop man was coming. Corona, Tizer, Alpine, delivered straight to your door by someone who knew your family by name. Thick glass bottles with screw tops that made that perfect pop when opened. You'd run out with empties, brown dandelion and burdock, clear cream soda, each worth a few pennies deposit. You chose refills carefully. Cherryade, bright orange Tizer. The bottles were heavy, solid glass. You carried them like treasure. Pop was rationed. One glass with Sunday dinner. One bottle shared between siblings, never wasted. The pop man chatted about the weather, remembered parties, knew the street. He wasn't just delivering drinks, he was part of the neighborhood. Then plastic bottles arrived. Supermarkets took over. The visit stopped. But if you were there, you still remember the sound, the taste, the ritual. A hooded figure. Dark water. I am the spirit of dark and lonely water. Donald Pleasance's voice, deep and chilling. Public information films didn't hold back. They were meant to scare you, and they did. Children drowning in ponds. Kids climbing fences near substations, burned alive. Railway lines, pylons, building sites. Every danger shown with the worst possible ending. And it worked. You stayed away, you remembered. The nightmares stuck, but so did the lessons. Saturday afternoon, you pushed through Woolworth's doors, straight to the pick-and mix. Rows of clear bins, pink shrimps, flying saucers, cola bottles, chocolate limes, your pocket money rattling in your hand. You grabbed a white paper bag, started carefully, one of these, 2 of those, along the counter, then the scales. Every gram mattered. Sneaking extras was tempting. Everyone did it. Staff knew and looked the other way. You left with a bag of sugary treasure, fingers already sticky. When Woolworths closed in 2008, it wasn't just a shop that vanished. It was a whole era. Two heavy plastic balls on a string, clackers. A playground craze that destroyed knuckles. You'd swing them until they smashed together, clack, clack, clack. Faster meant louder. They were dangerous. Plastic shattered. Fingers got caught. Bruises bloomed purple. Schools banned them. Parents confiscated them. Eventually, they disappeared. But for one glorious summer, every playground echoed with that sound. Saturday morning, 9:30. Swap Shop or Tiswas. BBC One had Noel Edmonds and Keith Chegwin's cheerful swapping chaos. ITV had Tiswas, Chris Tarrant, Sally James, custard pies, water buckets, total anarchy. One TV, no remote. You chose your side. Swap Shop kids were sensible. Tiswas kids were rebels. Playground debates raged every Monday. Families split over it, but everyone watched. Your teacher handed out freshly printed worksheets, purple ink, slightly damp. Without thinking, every child lifted the paper and inhaled that sweet, chemical smell. The duplicator used methylated spirits. Catch that scent decades later, and you're 10 years old again, sniffing a maths sheet. On the floor, the green felt pitch never lay flat. Subutio, tiny players on weighted bases. You flicked them toward a ball far too big for their size. Bases snapped. Stand barefoot on a striker and he'd break clean off, heartbreaking. But it wasn't just a game. It was a world. Teams collected, players painted, hours vanished. And if your brother walked through mid-match, your dad owed you a pint. Sunday afternoon, Dad deserved just one at the pub. You'd be fine in the car. Children weren't allowed inside, so you waited in the back seat of the Morris Marina with a packet of crisps and a bottle of lemonade. The first hour was okay. The second dragged endlessly. Eventually, your parents returned, smelling of beer and smoke, cheerful, while you'd been bored out of your mind. Girls had Cindy, boys had Action Man. Cindy had outfits, and inevitably a terrible haircut after boredom met scissors. Action Man had gripping hands, moving eyes, fuzzy hair that slowly fell out. Uniforms, weapons. Every boy lost Action Man's hair. Every girl ruined Cindy's fringe. They weren't just toys, they were part of childhood. Tiny, electronic, advertised by Rolf Harris. A pocket organ played with a metal stylus on a printed circuit board. Touch the strips, hear buzzing notes. It felt futuristic. Everyone wanted one. Everyone got one. Everyone realized it was basically unplayable. Hours of strange noises followed, driving parents mad until the batteries died. Flares wide enough to sweep the pavement. Platform shoes adding inches. Tank tops itchy, homemade, knitted by Nan. Every child wore flares. The wider, the better. You strutted like a pop star. Tank tops scratched and itched in shades of brown, orange, mustard yellow. You wore them to school discos, pretending you didn't hate them. Nothing about 70s fashion was subtle. A giant inflatable ball with a smiling kangaroo face. The smell hit first, thick rubber. You climbed on and bounced. No control whatsoever. Aim for the lawn, land in the hedge. Every puncture was devastating, but while it lasted, it was magic. Whole streets full of bouncing laughter and the occasional spectacular fall. Saturdays meant comics. Boys read the Beano or the Dandy. Dennis the Menace. Bash Street kids, swapping issues at school. Girls read Jackie, problem pages, posters, fashion tips, everything a teenage girl needed. Boys mocked it. Girls devoured every word, and everyone secretly read it. 1977. 25 years on the throne. Britain threw its biggest party since VE Day. Street parties everywhere. Long tables down the road.